Today, we're diving into a really powerful model of leadership, one that feels timeless. It's inspired by a Lenten reflection, and it really makes you rethink what it means to lead, not through power, but through a genuine commitment to other people.
So, when you think of a leader, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Probably someone with power, authority, right? Kind of that top-down approach. But what if I told you that the most effective leaders, the ones who make a real, lasting difference, aren't the ones calling the shots, but the ones who actually serve? It's a pretty counterintuitive idea, and it's exactly what we're digging into today. To really get our heads around this, we're going to look at two key figures. Now, they were separated by centuries, but they were totally united by this shared path of struggle. Their stories, side by side, really challenge our modern ideas of leadership and set the stage for a whole new way of thinking about it.
Okay, so on one side, you have the prophet Jeremiah. He was hounded and persecuted just for speaking his truth, and he prayed to be saved from it all. But then, on the other side, you have Jesus. He didn't just face suffering, he actually folded it into his core mission. And that, right there, is a massive distinction. It's a huge pivot from just enduring hardship to finding a deep purpose within it.
So let's start with Jeremiah. To really appreciate the radical shift that Jesus brings to the table, we first have to understand the story of the prophet who came before him. His experience with persecution is absolutely key here.
You know, Jeremiah wasn't just unpopular. People were literally plotting against him for saying things they didn't want to hear. But here's the thing. Instead of fighting back or looking for revenge, he turned to prayer. He asked for deliverance, not destruction. He kept his integrity, and that lays this crucial foundation for the whole idea of righteous suffering. All right, now let's watch how this idea gets a major upgrade. Jesus takes this concept of suffering for a cause and basically makes it the cornerstone of a brand new philosophy of leadership. And it's one that completely flips our understanding of strength on its head. This is such a game-changing moment. Jesus actually foretells his own suffering and death, and he doesn't frame it as a tragedy or defeat. Not at all. He presents it as a deliberate act, the ultimate expression of serving others. He completely inverts that old idea that power is about being in control. And this, right here, is the heart of what we now call servant leadership. It redefines greatness. It's not about how many people serve you, but how many people you serve. The leader's whole focus shifts away from their own ambition and toward the good of the entire community. This was the revolutionary model Jesus put forward, one that values influence way more than authority.
So this all sounds great in theory, right? But how do we actually apply this ancient idea to our lives today? How do we get from just thinking about it to actually doing it? Well, our source material connects this powerful concept to the season of Lent, suggesting it's the perfect time for some practical training in this style of leadership.
So the idea is that Lent isn't just about giving something up. It's a period of formation. Think of it almost like a spiritual boot camp, a training ground where we can intentionally practice what it means to be a servant leader and really try to follow that example of self-giving.
And what does this training look like? Well, it really boils down to three key things. First, really taking the time to reflect on what it means to put other people first. Second, practicing the kind of humility you need to actually do that. And third, and this is the most important part, putting it all into action by actively helping out and serving others in your community.
So what's the big takeaway from all of this? Well, when you connect the dots, you see this amazing, clear line running from Jeremiah's desperate prayer all the way to Jesus' total redefinition of leadership. And it all points to one powerful mission. This simple phrase from our source text just nails it. It cuts right to the heart of the matter. It's both a statement about a historic mission and, really, a challenge to anyone who wants to lead today. The ultimate goal isn't to be served, but to find your purpose in serving. And that leaves us with one final and I think crucial question. Because this isn't just some abstract idea to talk about. It's a practical challenge for all of us. In our own lives, with our families, at our jobs, in our neighborhoods, how can we actually put this incredible model of servant leadership into practice? What does it look like for you to serve right where you are?